Hi there. Let's say we want to map a table of data. There's lots of ways to do that. This is one of the simplest ways to do it. I've got a straight text file that I'm going to make a CSV, a comma-separated value file of, and map it in ArcGIS Online. It could be anything, litter, noise, weather, water quality, but in this case, let's use tree species. So here in this lesson that I wrote, we've got a simple 5 data point table. I'm just going to copy and paste this into some sort of notepad document. I could also copy and paste it into Excel, as long as I'm saving it as a CSV file. So I've got my points, my latitude, my longitude. Notice that it's in decimal degrees, so the longitudes are negative because it's in the Western Hemisphere. The species and the height of the tree in meters. Units are important. Okay, so let's go ahead and say, oh, I want to paste that into Notepad. Great. I could paste it into Excel. As long as I save it as a CSV, I'm good. And if you're on a Mac, make sure that Mac is not overthinking it. Make sure the Mac is not attaching additional text or a suffix to the file name. It has to end with CSV. So if I put it in this document right here, I'm pasting it in here, and I'm going to call it ensemble-trees.csv, ensemble trees. Now I'm going to go into my ArcGIS Online organizational account. And let's say I'm going to start with no trees at all in there. Okay, so I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to say, okay, I've got a satellite image base, but I could have any base on there if that I wanted to. And now I'm going to add layer from file. So if I go to my device, I'm going to add some CSV, which is the CSV that I just saved. And I'm going to open that, and it's going to ask me, hey, create a hosted feature layer and add it to the map. That's what I want to do. If I just wanted to save that CSV out there as an item and add it to a map, I could do that as well. It's not as powerful. I want a hosted feature layer because I want it to be more powerful. I want to be able to use it in the future for analysis purposes, etc. So create a hosted feature layer and add it to the map. Give it a name in a moment, but do I want all the fields to come over? Yes, I do. I want every single field in my table to come over into the feature layer. And this is where it's saying, okay, I see your lat long. Is that latitude and longitude? Yes, it is. If it was called L1 and L2, I could say L1 is latitude, L2 is longitude. But I've got them named where it guessed correctly, and now I'm going to make a name for that. I'm going to call it ensemble trees, and I'm going to underscore it with today's date, which is 26 June. So I know this is the time and the date that I've done this, and I'm going to give it a little bit of metadata here. Ensemble trees on campus from CSV. Create and add to map. So once I do that, it takes that CSV, right, and it creates a hosted feature layer. And it says, hey, Joseph, you've already got a file named ensemble trees, so change the folder or rename the file. So let's go ahead and go back to my original screen here, my device. And here's where I'm going to change the name of the original. I'm going to call it 26 June as well. Okay. So that's the one I want to use, and the same procedures now, next, latitude, longitude, and that's my final name, and it's going to create that feature layer, that hosted feature layer, and it's going to give me a default symbology for the trees, which is just a gold dot. Now what I want to do, according to the procedures, let's go back to the procedures in the lab. Here they are. Let's go ahead and change the symbol from a circle to some other symbol, make them green, using counts and amounts, size, and then choose from the symbol sets. Okay, let's say we want this tree species or the tree height. I've got all that at my fingertips. So I'm going to go here and edit the layer style and say, I want to add a field, the tree species. Now add, okay, and now I've got circles for those, and it's a little faint, a little hard to see, so let's bump up the size a little bit. Grab that pencil and bump up the size here, and let's also change it from a point to a triangle. I can get really fancy. I can customize. I can upload my own symbols for trees if I want to, but I'm just going to keep it simple right here. Now I've got all the tree species mapped, and maybe it would be a bit more instructive and evident if I changed the base map from a satellite image to something like an OpenStreetMap. Okay, so now I see where those tree species are, and I've got data for each one of those as a pop-up. Okay, so I have the species mapped. But what if I want something else? What if I said I want the height in meters? So now I can get a graduated symbol or a bigger symbol for a higher tree. Okay, style options, again, changing the symbol style. Let's go ahead and do what we did before. Let's make it a triangle once again. And I don't like that color. I don't like that color. I want it to be a greenish color. Okay, so done, done, done. Now I've got the taller tree, which is right here. It's that cedar that is 12 meters as a bigger symbol. So that's how to grab a table of data with latitude and longitude. It could be city-country combination. It could be street address, but some geographic component in that table, and I'm going to map it. And now I can do things with it. I could see how many trees are in close proximity to roads. I could see what the health of the tree is, if that was an attribute. How many trees are in X distance from the lakes. If I had enough trees, I could do a hotspot analysis. Where are trees clustered? Where are they not clustered? Maybe we need to do additional plantings. All kinds of things I could do once I've got it in a map. Thanks for being with me.